What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Become Elite stretching video. You guys seem to love these videos, which is fantastic to hear. The first one I did was 45 minutes long, really deep stretch. Really enjoyed that one. I do that probably about once a week, like a really long 45-minute to an hour-long stretching session. The second video I put out was like 30 minutes, and I think that was kind of deep stretch as well, but also some foam rolling as well. And now this one is going to be short and sweet, 15 minutes long, but all of these exercises or stretches that we'll do will just be held for about 30 seconds. I really like this routine because I do this one pretty much every single day before training. So I get into the facilities, I get changed, I talk with some teammates or whatever, and then I go outside and I start this 15-minute mobility session before doing my activation and rehab and prehab exercises. And then we go and do the full team training session. So this is like my morning wake up, mobility, get the blood flowing before I start moving on to activation, rehab, and then team training. So I do this, like I said, pretty much like every single day before training. So without further ado, let's hop into the very first stretch of child's pose. So every time before we get into the stretch, we'll get like a 10-second grace period. So 10 seconds to get into it, and we'll hop down into child's pose right here. So child's pose, just sink back, try to get your butt to your heels, arms stretched out, and just kind of sink into this stretch. Okay, so it's 30 seconds. It's nothing crazy. It's not anything deep stretching. It's just kind of like a little pick me up in the morning. Next, we got seal. So just try to push your pelvis forward, chest up, arms straight, and just really try to arch your back like a seal. I think this is good in the mornings too before training, because before a game, before a training session, I mean, it's not that bad to do longer holding of stretches, but there's just been some research to show that it can kind of lower some of your power output in muscles. So it's just, you know, a little bit better just to do a little bit quicker holds like this for 30 seconds. Next, we're gonna go back into child's pose. Take one of your arms, you might be taking my right arm and throwing it underneath the left. Do like child's pose with a twist. You should feel this in your lower back and behind your shoulder, that deltoid. And you know, as I'm saying all this and trying to sound all cool, I am not a yoga instructor. I am just a professional footballer, and this is just what I do. I don't even know if all these stretches are actual yoga, you know, official stretches or whatever. But this is just what I do, and I feel really good from doing it. So next one, we're just gonna go over to the left side, or to the right side with our left arm. So left arm underneath, and then just twist and sink back. I really feel this in my lower back. I think it's great, especially from like sitting on the computer and training and all this stuff. It's my body tightens up very quickly, especially now being 30 years old. I just find that I need to do this pretty much every single morning to really feel my best. And when I don't do this, it feels like it takes me longer to get into the team training session. Okay. And come out of that, do seal one more time. Okay, there we go. You can also walk your hands a little bit further back to really make that even more dramatic of a stretch. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna go to one of my all-time favorite stretches ever, the pigeon stretch. So just take your right leg, throw it on, try to make it parallel. Like I said, I'm not an expert at stretching or yoga, so mine's not perfect. But you can watch a tutorial on a pigeon stretch. This is like my favorite one. My glutes always seem to get extremely tight. So this is like my go-to. And then I just try to sink my butt closer to the ground, my hips closer to the ground, my chest close to the ground. And just relax. I'll go over to the left. And yeah, I literally, like I had training this morning, team training this morning, and I did exactly this before I started my exercises, like I said. And exercise-wise, it's, you know, it's just kind of like my problem areas. I do some stuff for my patellar tendonitis, you know, just so that doesn't come back at all. Some hamstring stuff, some hip flexor stuff, groin stuff. I've had surgery in my groin, so this is kind of like getting my body a little bit warmed up, blood flowing a little bit. It's like my warm up for my activation exercises, if that makes sense. Okay, just about done on this left side. There we go. Now we're gonna go hip flexor and quad. This is another really good one, couch stretch. So I'm just gonna bring my right leg forward, left leg behind me, and then I'm just gonna pop that left leg up, and I'm going to work on bringing my heel to my butt and also kind of pushing my hips forward like this so that I can feel it really in my hip flexor. But it's hip flexor, quad, all that stuff. Really good one. What's cool about these stretching videos too, the first one I filmed was in my apartment in Tulsa, I think in 2020. And then the second one I filmed was in my backyard in Charleston. Okay, I switch. And then the third one I filmed, this one is in my backyard in Hartford, Connecticut. So it's cool to see the journey through these stretching videos. And it's even cool to see like that first video. I love Gucci like running around and causing a ruckus in that. And this one, you know, now I have a baby, a kid. It's really cool to see that. Also, I cut my foot moving some of my outdoor furniture around for this video. So I have a little Band-Aid. So if I start bleeding or crying, you know why. Okay, next one, we are going to do the crisscross and reach. Great one, again for the glutes. It's gonna come crisscross applesauce. Got my left foot in front of my right and just lean forward. And again, sink into it. When I started stretching, back when I was like 22 and I was so tight, this is like, I think I was in Germany. I was like, I could not even sit crisscross applesauce because my hips were so tight. And that led to like a lot of lower back tightness and pain and a whole bunch of problems. So now I've come a long way. Okay, now what we're gonna do is just take the right leg or your other leg and put it in front of the opposite leg now. Do the same exact thing with the legs opposite crisscrossed. You'll probably find that you have one leg, like a preference that's easier. Like for me, it's way easier for me to do the left leg in front of the right leg for whatever reason. Okay, now we'll go into the frog stretch. This is just basically putting your legs wide. This is for the groin, feet out behind you, and then you're just going to sink backwards into this, and you should feel a really, really deep stretch in your groins. After I had because I've had 2 groin surgeries, 1 surgery on each groin, and after those, my groins got so tight. And so this was like I had to do this stretch like 4 or 5 times a day to make sure that my groins weren't going to heal all tightened up. There we go. Next, we're just gonna do a lying quad. So I'm just gonna lean back, grab my left ankle, pull it behind me. Some people, this hurts their knee. If this hurts your knee, do a standing quad stretch or whatever your favorite quad stretch is. You shouldn't be feeling like a sharp, twingy pain. It should just feel like the deep stretching discomfort, you know? There's a difference. It is beautiful here in Connecticut though, in the summers. The winters suck, but the summer is beautiful. I mean, we're end of May, Memorial Day weekend right now, and it is just, the green, the blue skies, the flowers. It's really, really nice. Okay, just doing the opposite leg now, same thing. Sinking back. Hold on. If you guys also want a different stretching routine, I mean, like I said, the 45-minute deep stretch one is kind of like what I do once a week in the afternoon on my off day or whatever. The 30-minute session, that will be like, again, I might do that once a week and replace it if I don't want to do the full hour long, whatever. But this is what I do every single day before training. Okay, now we're gonna go to seated hamstring. So super simple, just grab your toes or whatever and reach. But yeah, like I was saying, if you guys want something specific for these stretching videos, like a certain time, or you want to do more foam rolling or with a lacrosse ball or whatever, just let me know. I can make them. I can do it. Okay, now we're going to just do the hamstring stretch again, but just a variation. Just bring your legs in a V and wide. And then we're gonna reach with the opposite hand to the foot. So it's like I'm reaching to my right foot with my left hand. And then I'm just gonna twist and bring my arm underneath, like my knee to my elbow, and just twist like this. I feel this on this hamstring a ton, and I also feel this on the left lower back. If you want to, for even a deeper twist, you can take your right arm and bring it under your leg and go up like this. That really opens up my lower back. So now opposite, I'm gonna just reach with this hand over, this elbow in. Again, I'm gonna do the full twist. There we go. Okay, next we have a little quad stretch and ankle stretch. I'm just gonna put my feet flat on the mat. I'm gonna sit on my heels and I'm just gonna relax. Some of you, this might not feel like a stretch at all. And for others, this might feel excruciatingly painful. So if it's not painful at all, if you don't feel anything, you can lean back even further like this, even go all the way down. Put your elbows on the mat to stretch out those quads even more. This one's huge for me because I've sprained my ankles in the past, and once you sprain your ankle, that mobility, it tightens up a ton. So you need to strengthen it up and mobilize it like that. And for me, that's where I've really helped that. Next, downward dog, the classic. Get the dogs out. Just pushing my heels flat to the ground, trying to make my butt up to the sky and my back flat. Again, this is a hamstring and calf stretch. There we go. Now we're gonna do the same one as before, sit on our heels, but this time we're really going to almost try to raise up our knees and get an even deeper stretch in the front of our feet and ankles. And if this is too painful, you can't raise up your knees at all, one, you should work on it because you need to have good ankle mobility so you don't get injured with an ankle sprain or something, but just go back to the normal sitting on the heels. And if that's too painful, do a little modified version or something. But you can just sit on the heels, raise them up, really stretch out those ankles and feet. There we go. Okay, next we're gonna do basically a downward dog, but we're gonna focus on one leg and just do a calf stretch. So we'll start with the left, push down the left heel to the ground. I use my right toes and feet to make sure that my heel is flat on the ground and really just stretch. And you can move, go forward, backward, wherever you really feel some tightness, just really double down and
and try to loosen that area up. Every stretch, I always want to say, oh, this is one of my favorite stretches, or I'm really tight here. But it's just everything. Everything's always tightening up on me because I'm training and working out constantly. Okay, so next, same exact thing, but just with the right heel now, the right calf. So right foot flat on the ground, left foot behind, pushing down the heel. And just stretching and finding that spot where it gets really tight. There we go. Okay, and then our very last stretch coming up is the one that I think I get the most comments on. And it's where we sit on our heels again, but this time our toes are tucked underneath. So it really stretches out that big toe and those muscles and tendons there. Oh, it's windy. And really just leaning into it. With your feet constantly in a boot, in a football boot, like it's just crunched together. Your feet get your feet go through so much in those boots. So this one and stretching out the ankles and toes and everything, I didn't start doing it till I was in I was 25 or so, and I just noticed that everything just felt so much better. But anyway, that's it, guys. That is the 15-minute stretch routine. Like I said, I would finish this right now, 15 minutes of that. I'm feeling, as you guys probably are feeling right now, you feel looser, you feel a little bit like the blood's flowing. Then I go straight into like my prehab exercises. So I'm doing like stuff like leg lifts for the hip flexor, or I'm doing like on the Swiss ball, like some hammy stuff. And I do probably 15 minutes of exercises to kind of activate all those muscles. And then I go in, put my boots on, and then we start team training. So that's pretty much like a glimpse into how I get ready for the day for the training session. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please, please, please hit the thumbs up button. Keep watching it, keep doing these stretches. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know if you guys want any other videos in particular, whatever it is, and we can do that. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, guys, peace.